that shit.
Welcome to Trash Talk MMA.
Yo, and welcome to the Trash Talk MMA podcast. I'm your host, Antoine Pelletier, and once again in his house, we got the infamous Jon Nutt from Full Metal Dojo. John, what's the deal, buddy?
Cold chilling, living the dream, par usual, getting things done.
Attaboy.
TCBing all day, every day.
What does TCB mean?
Taking care of business.
Is that what it means? Because I've seen TCB before, and I'm like, what the hell does this mean? I used to look up acronyms like that, or these web-based acronyms online, and I just got fucking bored of it. So, you still got the Battle of the Beards is over, but you still got your beard. Mm-hmm. Well, let's roll. Exactly. Let's obviously.
Man, I don't have any razor sponsors yet. So
yeah, there you go. Maybe you need to. Oh, what's that? You know, there's a really. What's that? No, what's that? There's that brand of razors that's come out that's kind of revolutionized, where they've done things, I don't know, 3 times cheaper or something like that, and they only sell online, but it's really, really good deal, real quality razors. That might be a potential good sponsor.
Yeah, razors in Thailand are like more than gold. It's crazy.
And what's crazy in Thailand too is you can't find aftershave. You can find shaving cream, but you can't find aftershave. I remember that was killing me. I was like, damn, every time. So anybody who goes to visit Thailand, make sure you pack your aftershave with you. Okay, so obviously we're talking now because August 22nd, Full Metal Dojo 6 is taking place in Bangkok. We're obviously going to get into that in big detail. But before that, let's roll back. And I had you on the show just before Full Metal Dojo 5. I know there's a lot of hype for that. Yep. You were trying to really promote a lot of Thai fighters. Tell us how the event went down, and what was the takeaway from that event?
It was fantastic. Again, like we had 3 different rule sets on the evening, just by the way, too. We had amateur, pro underneath the unified rules, and then we had the global rule set, soccer kicks to the head, 12 to 6 elbows and whatnot. Okay. So I think it was one of the first events that was like that. It was great. I really feel like I kind of almost proved the point with the Thai amateurs. Some of those dudes had more entertaining fights than I've seen a lot of dudes out there that, you know, the Thais come from getting punched in the face so much that they are unintimidated by anybody, you know what I mean? And they go at it, and it was awesome to see. So I'm hoping to continue something along those lines, not necessarily under the Full Metal Dojo banner, but like that Made in Thailand. That's what I was getting at with the whole Made in Thailand thing.
Okay, so there's 2 interesting points there. First of all, the multi rules. Obviously, that presents a bit of a logistic challenge for your officials. Who were your officials, and how did they handle that?
Definitely. Oliver Cost is obviously our head official, and he gets down with everything. You've had him on the show. ONE FC referee extraordinaire. I was just with him at IMAF in Vegas. We could chat about that.
Well, no, I had Dana Bluen on the show, but I haven't had Oliver, so I got to get Oliver on the show.
Okay, yeah. We'll get him. But so Dana, you had Dana.
Yeah.
And then we had Morgan Perkins. We got Lee Livingston. We got a great crew of guys that are, you know, all martial artists and all part of the game.
Yep.
So I mean, yeah, they get it done, and yeah, obviously it was tough. We had a tournament stance going on, which was pretty wild. We had you know 3 4-man tournaments, and then we had 2 kind of super fights, and then my fight. So that was how it rolled, and it was the crowd obviously always gets into it. It's always a huge party. We had a Silly Machine band on stage. We had some good DJs, and yeah, it was full tilt. You know,
so all in
my
all,
sponsors liked it.
You considered it a pretty big success?
Positive. Mm-hmm. Oh,
good.
Yeah.
Good. Excellent to hear. So,
yeah,
and so as far as those rule changes went, those rule sets, did everything go according to plan? Were there any mess ups because of the
soccer kicks out of the Payak fight? You know, we got some good soccer kicks. We had a huge DQ. The odd guy Kale came in and did a little unsportsmanship when they went for the tap of the gloves. He knocked down the dude's hand, flying knee. Got disqualified. It was one of the biggest knockouts I've seen in an amateur fight.
Brutal.
Ever.
So, of everybody that competed on that event, who really stood out? Who are some of the guys that got some big wins or put on some great performances?
That little kid Payak. I mean, like we have him fighting on our next show, and he's out of Team Quest up in Chiang Mai, and he's a strawweight, little 115er. I'd love to see what he could do against DSA in the future. Ty versus Ty up in like a one championship type of thing.
Okay.
But yeah, he did his thing. That was pretty amazing. That kid Dream Man is the Thai wrestler that really gets down. He throws people around. He had 2 huge suplexes during the night that were off the chains. And
so already we're starting to see some Thais really put their complete game together, their complete MMA game.
Dude, we definitely saw some good Thai submissions, which is always uplifting to me. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So yeah, we definitely saw some good stuff.
Very cool. Very cool.
It was huge.
Excellent. So, and then you competed in the main event against Dana. It was a pretty short fight with you winning by KO.
My Everest as the show. Yeah, man. Minute and like 9 seconds, something like that.
Okay. Did you?
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was going to go longer. I think he thought it was going to go longer too. But the adrenaline rush does take over. You know what I mean? When the bell goes off, and well, no offense to my boy, because he's my boy and all, but like when I kicked him the first time, and you could see his cringe, it was like, okay, this is going to keep happening, and. He knew it too. Like, I knew that he was going to try to take me down, and I wasn't going to be taken down.
Yeah.
That would have just been stupid of me. So, punching him in the side of the head was the nicest thing I could do.
Well, anyway, I mean, I think it was a great way probably to end up the evening, and you both have balls at your age and in your situations to be stepping in there and taking that risk. And listen, big up to Dana. He took a big shot on the point of the jaw and went down. So,
exactly.
But he took it like a man, and from the sounds of it, that's pretty much the end of both of your fighting careers. Is that a correct assumption, or do you think you'll possibly get back in there?
I might have like a Muay Thai fight when I turn like 40, you know what I mean? And like that's like my marathon.
Okay.
How people get old and they run marathons or like sail boats or something. Like, yeah, I'll probably have like a Muay Thai fight. But I don't know. I'm not going to jump back in. I'm definitely not going to ever promote and sing and perform and like, MC and then fight again, because the
yeah, that must have been the most complete card that you've ever put on. As far as a jack of all trades there.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
So then in between time, I know you were heavily also involved with that the Toon Talk MMR event, that MMA event that took place on a cruise boat. Tell us a bit about that. How'd you get involved with that, and how'd that go down?
I got involved with that because Jason Lowe, the man, the myth, the legend, you know what I mean? Godfather, he's the one really getting it done. The whole Mima team is like so fantastic. That's a big family. And Jason Lowe came to me and he was like, I got this idea. We're gonna throw fights on a cruise ship. And it's gonna be, we're gonna get the whole Toon Talk family out there. And it's gonna be a show. And I need you to not shave for like the rest of like 6 weeks.
God, you must be getting it. You must be getting an itch around there, man.
Yeah.
So I mean, it sounds like you've got a really, really tight relationship with Toon Talk, with Mia. What are the origins of that? Like, how has that relationship been developed from the get go?
Will Elliott from Tiger Muay Thai, when he was with Tiger Muay Thai, he was the dude that first introduced me to those guys. But when I stopped with Dare, basically, I was chatting with them already. Jason Lowe kind of invited me down, said I could come down. Brian Ebersol was down there at the time. Yod and Lum from Tiger were down there at the time. And me and Matty Polino get along. And, they're doing so many fights over 2 days that to have one announcer for the whole open mall thing that they do is a tough announcing job. You have to be always on, and they have 30 fights in a day. You know what I mean? So
crazy.
For me to go down there and take a little bit of the weight off of Polino and kind of, bring a little bit more fun. You know what I mean? I think as an announcer, I'm not the typical buffer style thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you got your own
flair. I was just in Vegas. Exactly. I was seeing everybody do the same thing, and it's like, I don't believe that it should be that way.
So how'd that event go down? I mean, fights on a cruise boat, that's a world premiere, no?
Yeah, definitely. It was, yeah, exactly. Definitely the first time in Asia. I mean, I think it's, I mean, maybe they've done it in, I don't know, Hawaii or Guam or something like that. I don't know,
I'd say
but it was
the
definitely
closest
first
thing
time
that
in
I ever
Asia.
saw was pretty cool in St. Petersburg, Russia. Is I know that M1 Global they put on
Yeah,
outdoor events along the river in St. Petersburg. So I mean, technically the ring isn't isn't on the water. It's on the edge of the water, but it's pretty cool because then you get these these billionaire yachts pulling up, and it looks like something out
yeah.
of Street Fighter 2. Like it literally looks like a video game set where you got a bunch of banging hot
Desert
Russian
Force did it.
models and a bunch of
Yeah,
billionaires watching
Desert
dudes
Force
get
did
down.
it. Without a doubt, man. I like again, yeah. Desert Force did it at like Petra. You
Okay.
know what I mean? So
Yeah,
like
yeah.
they did it like old Kingdom style. And obviously, Bodog used to do some cool stuff on beaches and weird stuff like that, but they
Yep.
took it a little far.
But I mean, here they actually got the fights to take place on the cruise boat. So that must have been an interesting
man, and,
logistics setup. How do you set up a cage on there? How do you reinforce it? How do you make sure that I mean, I guess you can't even guarantee was the boat moving or was it docked?
It was docked.
Okay.
It was docked.
Yeah, because otherwise you're out at sea
But
and this thing starts rocking
Jack
around.
Starr and that team. Yeah, nah, yeah, man. It was they did it very well. It man, it was gonna rain all day,
Okay.
and they didn't get covered. So if it had rained, it would have sucked. It would have been another like Warrior FC got rained out.
Okay.
Luckily the weather stayed with it, and the people from Phuket came out to the boat, and it all went. It was bomb, dude. I know some people were thinking little issues with the fight card, and there were people that were digging jabs at that, but overall the fights were actually legit as well. A lot
So
of
what
fun.
were the gripes with the card?
Pulled it off.
What were some of the gripes with PLI card?
There were some fights that were definitely like in terms of records, they were very mixed match.
Mismatched. Yeah. Okay.
Putting on a promotion again, it's like everybody. I hope there's more promotions. I mean, I think MMAR was, dude. In all honesty, it was like a very big present for the Toon Talk people. It was saying helpful for them. So they had their budgets. Like everybody has budgets that does these things. If you don't budget, your show is not successful.
Of course. Now,
so whatever they had for the fight card, they had for the fight card. A lot of guys, again, like this is a gripe that when I used to be a fighter, I used to always think that I, deserved more and things of that nature. And, as a promoter, you find out that, in order to get the card done and have it be successful, it's tough to get guys in Southeast Asia who you can't really have travel in and stuff like that. It's tough to get them sometimes matched up because, young records want to wins and all the drama.
of course. Listen, man, I'm watching these Bellator cards, dude. The mismatches are just brutal on them. I'm just brutal on them.
Yeah,
you watch Bellator 140, it was just mismatch after mismatch after mismatch, and it's been that way for about 3 Bellator cards in a row. So, listen, if it's happening to the big boys,
it's a tough thing.
If it's happening to the big boys, it's also it's gonna trickle down, and it's unfortunate. For example, if you get a real mismatch and somebody gets injured because he's really fighting somebody out of his league. But listen, man, we see that at the highest levels all the time.
Yep. It's definitely a tough thing because you got to provide for both fighters, and you got to get 2 guys that really think that they're going to go in there and they got the best shot at it.
Yep.
Nobody goes in to fucking lose. You know what I mean?
And listen, even when you see mismatches on paper like that, a lot of guys have come out and made a name for themselves by coming out and winning. Everybody steps in there with the little gloves on, and they have a chance to take the other dude out.
That is what we're all about at Full Metal Dojo. I still feel like my matchmaking's fantastic because we're still putting guys that are going in and throwing really, really entertaining scraps. Like, you know what I mean? I feel like everybody that I get is kind of in there for the fight. Yep. There's a big problem with MMA in general, and it's the word professional. Professional fighter kind of ruined it. We talked about this on the last time, man.
Yep. Yeah.
And that word professional, my dudes need to think of themselves as prize fighters. You're winning a prize. I'm trying to push you on to another organization. If you're a professional, you subsidize your income from that one occupation, whether it's you work in a restaurant, you work in real estate, you work,
Yep.
You know what I mean? If you're not subsidizing your income, dude, I'm not a professional MMA promoter. I have another, you know what I mean?
Well, I mean, you are.
Gotta have another income.
But you don't have just one source of revenue.
Yes, I am.
You're certainly very much a professional MMA promoter. You just you don't count on that to live large or however you live. Now let's roll it back there. Let's talk about your matchmaking process. Who's involved with that, and how does that go down? That's something we didn't talk about the last time.
Well, so I mean, like I have a pretty good relationship with most of the camps in Southeast Asia, and me and my boy Ree Webster. Ree Webster is a DJ. He's been a good friend of mine for a long time, and he follows the MMA scene since day one. He was following it when Martial Combat was on the line. He's one of these dudes that like listens to Luke Adams and all the guys on Tommy Toeholds. He's into it. He's like real. It's
I had the pleasure of actually meeting him when I swung by Bangkok for a night. And, we hung out a bit, and I managed to meet Reed. I want to get him on the show because I'm sure that's also another interesting. I like getting people from all walks of life in this sport on the show. The officials, the fighters, the promoters, the refs, and I haven't had a matchmaker yet. So let's get Reed on board for that because that'll be an interesting look.
Oh, for sure. But again, he does an amazing job. Matchmaking is tough again because you got to go back and forth. You can't play politics. You can't pick sides. And again, like at least for us, dude, I'm dealing with low records, and I mean, no joke. What's really tough is like I have guys that are really interested in like we could talk about this one, like Mushin Corbry. Do you know him?
Yep.
Mushin Corbry?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know not personally, but yep.
He fought Nick Diaz in Strikeforce, and like I would love to have him on my card. Now, again, we budget our cards and we pay a certain amount. You know what I mean? And I don't feel like I need to disclose that, just by the way, because it's their business. I don't have a problem just undisclosing it, but I'm not the UFC, and how much lower am I than the UFC? That's how much the pay is lower. I have a guy like Mushin Corbry who will fight for me. He's going to do a trip, and I'm talking to him, trying to matchmake. So if somebody out there wants to fight him, we'll try to get that done. But it's tough because I take a guy like him, and he'll fight for what I'm trying to pay. But you go find somebody to fight him for what I'm trying to pay. Yep. You know what I mean? Everybody's like, that's a UFC level fighter. I need UFC level pay. Well, I'm not coming out with $3,000 to fight $3,000 to win. Again, Todd Duffy just got $12,000. And
getting blasted in a main event. Yep.
So
I feel your pain. That's got to be a difficult juggle.
It's very tough. You know what I mean?
So okay, then let's roll into that. FMD 6 is coming up. That's on August 22nd. Again in Bangkok. Same venue.
Most likely not the same venue.
Okay.
We are going to go back to where Dare was at. Dare Fight Sports. We are going to go back to Club Insanity, right in the heart of the city, Sukhumvit Soi 12.
Okay.
So that's going to be the hotness, like, because we're going to pack that place out.
Is it a smaller venue?
It's a small venue. It's a 700 person venue, so we'll only get about 500 people in there with the cage. We'll make it real tight. It'll be real grimy. It'll be definitely a party again. We got another band. We got some other DJs. The laser lights and like the whole production value of it is legit.
Are your shows entirely filmed? Are your shows entirely filmed? Like, are they professionally filmed? All the fights?
All of them. Yeah, 4 HD cameras. You know what I mean? We're talking to different TV providers, and I'm in this for the long haul, and for anybody that is out there that I would love other people to promote. You know what I mean? I would love to get other people in there, so I have no problems talking about this stuff. But there's only a couple ways to make money off of shows: ticket sales, alcohol sales. But then the bigger boys make it off of content provision and advertising and sponsorships, and then at the highest level you get into gambling. You know what I mean? And again, we've started off slow because I feel like we're doing it properly. We're doing it smart. You know what I mean? Like,
have you looked into
we're taking our time.
Have you looked into online streaming, like live online streaming of your event?
Oh yeah. But again, like, that doesn't really, for getting eyeballs, for then getting sponsors, that's a great way to go.
Because there's some precedent with that, right? There's a lot of precedent. I mean, I know ONE FC, they stream their events that way. Does Mima do that? Do they stream their events live?
They did for the MMAR thing.
Yeah.
But again, like, that's on a different level. Both those shows come from guys that have like billions of dollars, and and business backgrounds and things of that nature. I'm not putting myself down or anything like that, but you know,
there's some infrastructure work to look at there for sure.
And again, like you know, Jason Lowe has Crap TV. He's got his own like production company. That dude's a baller. You know what I mean? So like, if I had my own production company, I would have it streamed right away too. And we actually probably will go with him in the future. But
I want to talk with him too. It sounds like he's doing big things.
Well, you see the way that my shows are filmed, anyways. In terms of like, you've seen like the YouTube clips that we put out. We're a lot darker. I'm not trying to be ESPN related, like pretty much every MMA station in the history of MMA. I want to keep it grimy. I want to keep it real in terms of having the image of a action movie, having an image of a real life underground Bangkok cage fight. Bang.
Well, that's a great comment, because I wanted to seg into that. I was just going to ask you, okay, you know, new venue. What's kind of the creative philosophy of FMD6? I know you kind of try to put a theme sort of behind each one of your events. What's the theme here?
For those about to rock, I mean, you know, AC/DC, 80s hair bands, lasers, lights. You know, is that the kind of like the subtitle for the show?
Because
we're definitely going to party that way. Yeah, it'll be much more of that soundtrack.
I mean, the last one was called Made in Thailand, right? And you really focused on Thai fighters. Are you doing any sort of theme in terms of, so what's the theme then for FMD6?
Well, we're going to keep it, again, like, we got 10 fights confirmed right now. We actually have like an 11th on the way. We made 12 fights this time, thinking that 2 would fall apart. I bet 1 at least will. They always fall apart. That's just the way it is. But so right now we have like 10 fights. We're still going to keep it at least 60% Thai each time. At least 60, you know, 6 of those matchups are Thai. And then another couple that are Southeast Asian based. And then, and Arab based. I really like the Arabs MMA scene.
Yep.
And then get the other Falang that are in, you know, the other round eyes that are in the Thailand area that are training here. Get them on board as well.
Okay. Now, can you elaborate on any of the matchups that are made or any of the fighters that are involved?
Yeah, man. So we got a dude out of the Fight Lab that I'm excited about. This guy Amir. That's the Fight Lab in Bangkok. So he'll be with Lee Livingston, Morgan Perkins, those guys, and he's fighting Baz, who's like Afghanistan's #1 fighter out of Phuket Top Team, and that dude's already fought for me twice. He's an animal.
Awesome.
So excited to have him on board.
Yeah,
another dude out of
I've been getting tons of guys from Phuket Top Team on the show. They got a really, really nice roster of fighters there. Really impressed.
Yeah, they got a bunch of animals down there. They're doing big things again, like with Kunlun. I know they're big up and with Kunlun, and that organization in China is obviously doing their thing too. Anybody that's putting money towards the sport, that's, you know, it's fantastic.
Oh yeah, I didn't tell you.
On the market, so.
I'm in Paris right now, and I actually have a buddy who does play-by-play commentary for pro wrestling events and for martial arts events, and he got me a hookup. There's a sports channel out here called Combat Sports with a K, and they're a Luxembourg-based channel, and they have me, and they also broadcast to South Africa for an English-speaking market there. So they have me coming in and doing play-by-play for combat sport events now in English and broadcasting them out there. Fantastic. And I've already done a few Kunlun fight events, and they were really good. Did one in was actually in an event in the Czech Republic. Nice ring girls.
Fantastic.
Exactly right.
Yeah, they're doing big things. And, again, signing Borkow is huge. I was actually with Borkow like 2 days before, and his manager was like hinting at it. They showed me the gloves that Kunlun made him, and
dope.
Yep. Again, I'm actually a huge combat sports in general fan, but I'm almost a bigger Muay Thai and K1 fan. And so now that they got Yodson Clyde Fairtex and they got Borkow, hopefully we'll get to see that. You know what I mean?
No doubt.
So
that's huge. That could be huge.
For them.
So back to sorry, I went off topic there, but so back to the fighters. You finished off with Phuket Top Team there. Who else?
Yeah, well, we got another Phuket Top Team guy, Joseph Webby, is fighting Scott Hudson. Scott Hudson's from Team Quest up in Chiang Mai. I actually saw him fight this past weekend. This past Tuesday, there was fights up there. MMA. They actually did 3 rule sets as well. They started with Muay Thai, then did regular boxing, then did MMA.
Dope.
And it was an interesting show overall. But Scott Hudson had a great performance. He's fighting Yusuf Webby, so that's, Team Quest, the North versus the South, if you will.
Yep. Yeah, I gotta get up to Team Quest, man. I know they got a lot of good things going on there.
Get up to Chiang Mai.
Yep.
Yeah, man, I can see myself like retiring up there. It's beautiful.
Yeah, I still haven't even visited up there, man. All I've really done is it's just been Phuket and Singapore, man. But hey, man,
Chiang Mai,
such a wealth of talent for me to work with to get on the show there. So I just stayed where the work was,
Understood.
But interesting enough, is it caught traction? And Joel from Team Quest, he hit me up saying, when am I getting on there? When are you getting my guys on the show? So I've already been bouncing some emails back and forth with Lee, and we'll try to get him on the show. We'll get him on the show for this, because if he's got fighters on there, it's a great time to promote him.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, He's got Scott Hudson on there. In October for our Halloween show, we're gonna have Caleb Lally, who's up there. He was on the MMA R card. We're gonna have him fight Alex Schild. Hopefully, get that done. So that's the future.
Okay.
And then going back to the ties for a big fight on our card that and you'll like this. We're gonna crown our first champion on this show. And as I've said, we take it baby steps, and we don't run before we walk. So we're gonna crown our intercontinental bantamweight Thai champion.
Okay.
And again, like we're not giving out belts. We're giving out swords, big samurai swords. It's not a tailor shop. My guys don't need belts. We might be in Bangkok and see tailors, but
give them something useful. Give them a sword.
It's a dojo. They need to go home with swords. So.
I love it, man. I love it that you just bring a different flair to it, right? Just don't do what everyone's doing.
We got Petzenkorn versus Dream Man for that one. That's a Thai versus Thai match, and that's those are two Thai guys that I've wanted to fight for a while.
Okay.
And we're going into the 6th event. I've had them on three events for both of them. And we're finally going to match those two dudes up. And Dream Man is like one of the best Thai wrestlers there is. And Petzenkorn is he comes from a Muay Chaya background. So it's going to be fun,
Okay. Awesome.
Obviously.
Anybody else?
Yeah. Yeah, man, we got a debut, Jan Steinbacher. He's fighting out of Bali, down with the Leone brothers,
okay.
Bali and Muay Thai. He's also writing a book about his experiences in training in martial arts, and that's why he's having a debut, is because he's basically been doing the life change, if you will, the life progression.
Cool. Very cool. I need to talk with him too then, because that's great to talk with an author who's, going through this experience, doing it in Southeast Asia. So he'll have his debut fight, and that would be part of basically his history.
And he's fighting a kid that's no joke. Another kid that I've seen at MMA, at Mima, is kid Salim, fighting out of AKA Thailand, down with Mike Swick.
Yep.
And this is a bad boy. This is one of those, I believe, and I don't want to get it wrong because nationality is the best way to hate somebody you've never met, but see what I just did there? But I believe he's Tajikistan or Russia, Chechnya.
Okay.
One of those Eastern Russian places, and he's just a bad boy.
Okay. No, it's funny, man, because
AKA is filled with bad boys. Again, big up to AKA.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah, I've worked with a bunch of their people, put a bunch of them on the show. All awesome. Really, really great group of people.
It's definitely where the big boys are going to train these days, by the way. You know what I mean? They got Soa down there. They got Mark Hunt down there. They got those two Iranian barbarians down there. They got big boys.
Yep. Yeah, because there's not a lot of gyms that have a lot of big boys here.
Here, Asia.
So speaking of swords and belts, you were also in Vegas for UFC 189. How was that experience?
Yeah. It was amazing. It was amazing. The whole trip was amazing. The Irish were amazing. They really did take over the city.
Yep.
On a swords note, I did go to the Excalibur show, so I got to see some horses and flame throwing and all that goodness. Yeah,
Were
exactly.
you live at UFC 189? Were you in the event, or were you just in Vegas for the?
I went to the weigh-ins, and
Okay.
actually, like, I was there chatting with Paradigm Agency a whole bunch. I randomly went, like, through college. I went to college at Trinity, but then I dropped out and I went to USC. And while I was doing it, I was doing security at a place called Madison's in Westwood, which is UCLA's bar. And Audie Attar, who actually played football for UCLA, he then went on to be a lawyer and became a part of Paradigm Agency, and they represent all the big boys in the UFC. So he represents Conor McGregor, and so I was with them for a while. He represents Weidman, Bisping, anybody on the mic, by the way, Kenny Florian and all the,
Okay.
That he's getting it done. He actually was like, I was able to get one ticket, and I was there with my missus and a whole crew. So I passed off on the ticket, went to the weigh-in, but did not go to the actual show, and watched it with all the Paradigm boys at a McFadden's, which is probably even better because, again, I've been to a million of those shows, and I like it actually at a bar better.
Now, speaking of commentary, and it's funny. I can talk about that too. I've been to many a live UFC event, but I actually have a tendency to prefer watching it on a big screen TV in a good bar in the comfort of your own home. You get the play-by-play.
I still say I have.
So, speaking of commentary, have you ever had pro commentary done to your events? Like you said, you're filming.
The first event that we had. Well, so like the first event that we had, we thought we were going right into a TV deal, actually, to tell you the truth, and that was just stupid thinking of me. So the first fight we ever had, we actually had Brad Robinson, ONE FC fighter.
I got him on my show coming up like next week. Awesome dude.
Yeah, he's the man.
Awesome
so
dude.
We had him, and we had Ben Stark. Mm-hmm.
Ben
Stark, UFC tough show fighter.
Okay.
ATT black belt.
Okay.
So we had those two, and those were the guys. Myself and James Goiter are actually doing the commentary on some of the ones that we've, post-recorded the commentary for that are coming out. Again, we're working on shows. We're trying to still do that. So people's fights do come out. They will, they will come out. We just save them to, again, try to get them off the sponsors, bro. Ducati. Yep. We got Ducati on board. Big things.
So let's talk your sponsors. I know this. It's your lifeline. Because dealing, like you said, with the cash flow on those events, it's very, very difficult. So obviously, sponsors are your lifeline. How has that process been for you from the beginning of Full Metal Dojo, and where are you at now with that?
It's hard. I mean, I was lucky enough to have a past in the kind of industry, and people knew who I was, just as being kind of a personality, if you will. But then you got to have your own. You got to have your own stuff, and you got to have a lot of it. I mean, like content. So, we're going into our 6th show. I think we're the fastest growing. We're definitely the fastest growing organization in Asia, especially in terms of our budgets and things of that nature.
Of course.
I mean, Fairtex has been amazing. Fitway has been amazing. They've been with us since the first show.
Okay.
And Fitway, Dimetize, all that is amazing. The Diesel Diva has obviously helped out. Hospital sponsored, Kluinam Thai Hospital. AIDS and hepatitis and HIV do not exist in this dojo. Does it? No, sensei. No sensei. So gotta love those guys. Again, Singha. The interesting thing, Singha, and we got the Movin Prick, by the way. The Movin Prick is probably one of my biggest sponsors that I've gone on to date. That's our hotel sponsor. Yep. Sukhumvit Soy 15 right in the heart of Bangkok. So, I mean, we'll be there.
So are they helping put up fighters, put up staff that needs to work?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, very cool.
So, yeah, Shark Energy drink as well. It's very, dude, it's very tough because you want to hear an interesting one? Here's one on sponsors that, a lot of people don't know about. Like Singha. A lot of these sponsors won't, they're not monetarily giving because I'm not big enough and I'm not on TV yet. So they're not really, so they try to hook you up as best they can. So a group like a Singha, they'll give product. What do you do with that product? Are you a guy that, if they give 5 kegs to, what do you do with those kegs? Can you sell it? You know what I mean? If we were at a certain club or a certain venue, some of them don't allow it. And then what do you own, a bar? Where are you going to store it? What are you going to do with it? You know what I mean? You got to think about these things, and you got to, that's your profit.
Or you invite your goons over and you drink it.
Exactly.
So
in my world.
Yeah, that's $5,000 in free beer, right? Yeah, no, I mean it's for sure. I mean, basically with where you're at now, what's your what's the biggest roadblock? What's the one? Is it really getting on TV for you? What's that hurdle that can take your operation to the next level?
Mine is still kind of the ties. You know what I mean? The ones that love the sport, but the ones that don't are kind of, man, like, again, this culture is all about fighting, but their national sport is Muay Thai. They don't want to hear that another combat sport is bigger, badder, or better, or more entertaining, or whatever. And again, I don't know. It's actually not an issue. It really isn't. It's just an issue for me because, like, I'm passionate and love the sport, and I want people to see it my way in terms of, dude, this could be like, we could have peace on earth through this sport. You know what I mean? Like, if you want to bring it to the nth degree of hippiness,
Yeah. It's crazy, man.
Why watch football? Why watch football? Why watch F1? Like, we have the greatest sport there is,
Oh, it's crazy. My dad was a huge F1 fan. I could just never get into it, man. These cars just doing laps, just never worked for me. I hear you. Hey, listen, you know me, dude. I'm an MMA junkie, man. I actually watched. So over the last, 10 days, I watched the entire Invicta. I watched all 4 UFC events. I watched the Bellator, and there was something else. There was a 1FC, and I chugged that in as well. I think I watched 10 events in 10 days or something like that. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, me and Mom.
So but I know I'm probably a bit of a pathological issue there, but that's another topic.
Yeah. It's
on
the move, bro.
And again, since I did my big outing there in I spent pretty much February, March, and April really going through all the big gyms and the fighters and the guys like you in Phuket and in Singapore. And since I left, there's been a lot of movement. There's been a lot of change. There's been some big changes at Tiger. There's some huge changes coming up at Unit 27.
Yeah.
Phuket Top Team, they've been doing their thing. They made a partnership with Kunlun. AKA, obviously, they had Mike Swick, doing his big comeback. He fought. Now he's retired. Went out like a champ.
Yep.
And they got their
focus on that gym.
Yep. And so there's there's really these 4 big operations there in Phuket. What's your relationship with these guys? How do you work with these guys? And are there any things going on between you and them right now that you can talk about?
Well, I mean, again, it's all good. I have to. I feel like my relationship with all the camps is fantastic. I've definitely known everybody for like longer than anybody else is. I mean, again, in terms of like the OG expat lifestyle, I've been here since 2004, which is longer than a lot of people. And I was there when Tiger was made. I was a part of Sean Douglas's Chalong Chai down the road when Phuket Top Team wasn't there, and it was Dragon, and now it's what's Dragon Muay Thai. I was one of the announcers for Patong Stadium. You know what I mean? For like 3 years. Okay. I used to fight on the circuit. So like I know all those guys. Will Elliott, who obviously ran Tiger Muay Thai and now does not, but he's still like in the game. Him and Danny Bocci, the first guy that ever did like a highlight reel, literally for Phuket. But I mean, like he was doing literally. I think he was one of the first people ever doing highlight reels. I was the first person that those dudes met off their plane when they came to Thailand. So, and that's just random. But that's how like my life has been. I've known Mike since, I don't know, 2009, 2008. I've known Roger since 2000, same amount of time. And so kind of like when anybody's gotten funneled into the Thailand fight game, I've met them or known them or whatever, because I was
somehow
always kind of on the outside. Now
Sure.
I have my own thing, and I'm on the inside,
So with obviously, so Will's no longer director at Tiger Muay Thai. Have you spent some time at Tiger with the new operation as it is now?
Not with the guys who are there at the moment. I talked to Roger, and he he's got his boys in the UFC, Merbek and Zub, and he's got a fight coming up with ONE FC, I believe.
I think in September.
And, you know, they're doing their thing, so I'm going through them. Shield again is on my card in the future. Emilo, I believe, is on my card. George Hickman's doing his thing, so we're talking to all those guys. I got another one of our ties.
George hasn't fought in friggin' ages.
I know, man.
So you're trying to get George on one of your cards?
I would love to. He's another guy that, again, like, it doesn't really almost make sense. I mean, like, if we got to be honest, it's like George is the type of dude who should get more money than my promotion has in his budget. And, okay, so he'll fight for my amount of money, then go find somebody that's going to fight George Hickman for a low enough, you know what I mean? That's where it gets really, really tough, dude.
Yeah, because you're dealing with a beast that needs to fight for cheap, and then needs to find an opponent that's not a mismatch. So, meaning an experienced guy who's going to fight equally for a low, for whatever you can pay him.
Yeah, because I'm not going to feed him something.
Yeah,
I'm not going to give him a can.
That's a hard line. That's a hard matchmaking line to juggle, man.
Quite a predicament.
Yeah.
Quite a predicament.
Crazy.
But yeah, so yeah, I mean, all the camps again. You know, Ole out in Ubon. That dude is still doing his thing. He's still the man. Again, like you said, Joel and Dylan and all those guys up at Team Quest. I'm psyched again, like you talked about how Unit 27 is doing their own thing with James McSweeney and Fernando Macachera. Everybody knows Fernando's the man. I'm sure he'll have Brazilian Top Team and Marilla Bustamante and all those guys still coming through. Yep. James McSweeney is obviously like fighting this weekend in Russia.
Yep,
and that
dude's fighting tomorrow. Yep.
Yeah. You know, people need to realize, again, I'm of the promotion now, thinking of it that way. The market is still not big enough, and the more gyms that it happens, especially in Thailand, where the GDP of this country revolves around tourism, I love when new camps open. Hopefully it will provide more fighters. Hopefully it'll provide more tourism. Hopefully it'll provide more greatness for the sport.
Yeah,
you know, with
really
everything
that ecosystem needs to still grow.
About there not being money, you know, again, there's no fighter union. And there won't be until fighters can not compete against each other and go down. You know, the gyms need to get together, and it's the only way it's going to ever happen. But I don't see it happening for a while. Which it could forward into like our little, what I was doing with in Vegas also, the IMOF thing, because they're trying to be like the FIFA of MMA, but on an amateur level, and get these guys going into tournaments and there was 31 countries represented, something like that.
Yeah, so speak awesome, a bit of. I mean, I saw some pictures of you there at Facebook, but I didn't unfortunately didn't take the time to look a bit deeper. What exactly what is this organization, and what was this event that you attended in Vegas?
IMAF is like, you know, basically like the lobbyists of trying to eventually get MMA back in the Olympics as the original sport, man. And again, they're basically like going to try to be the FIFA of MMA and get every nation on board and try to have them do amateur tournaments to find out who the best amateurs are, and then each year at UFC Fight Week they hold the worlds. I'm going out probably to Europe, to England. I forget where it is right at the moment. My brain is in Birmingham, I believe. Birmingham, England.
Birmingham,
November 20th to the 24th, and that's the Europeans. Then they're going to have the Asians, which I believe are going to be in KL. I'll definitely be helping out with that.
Yep.
They're going to do the South Americans and all that type of stuff. And then eventually it culminates in them doing the Worlds. And great level of competition, but I'll tell you the truth. With doing MIMA and stuff, the boys in Asia could definitely compete, especially at those lower weight classes.
Yeah, man, there's that's what I'm just trying to really preach on with my site and my show is just, there's just such a wealth of talent already out there, and it's just about blowing up that infrastructure like you just talked about. And the more that infrastructure of gyms and promotions and people come in from other countries to train in those places and take fights there and then evangelize back home, the more it can bring some eyeballs and some ears and some money into MMA and in Thailand and in Southeast Asia in general, you know.
For sure.
So beyond Sorry, go ahead.
No, keep going.
I was going to say, so beyond your Full Metal Dojo 6 on August 22nd, I think you already have a couple of the shows already lined up. Is that correct? For the rest of the year?
The rest of our year is lined up. The rest of the year is lined up for us. We got 3 events. It'll be we're going to do a Halloween show, which I think is going to be amazing. We're going back to Live House for that, which is going to be the ultimate haunted house.
Okay.
And I just think that's going to be an off-the-chains show. We already got some matchups on there that are going to be legit.
Okay.
Said that showed Caleb Lally fight. And then we're going December 12th. In between those times, I got the, I got August 1st, I got the semifinals or the finals for Mima, and then the grand finale in October.
Okay.
So again, like I'm kind of doing other shows as well. And then the IMAF thing. So like I'm constantly on the move between the different shows. But Full Metal Dojo is August 22nd, October 31st, December 12th. Okay. And then we'll see what we're going to do for 2016. If and when these shows go off the way they always do, with a bang, you know what I mean?
So when you work with these other events, with the Mima shows or the MMA, the MMR stuff, does that somehow tie back to Full Metal Dojo for you in any way? Or is that more just you being Jon Nutt for them?
It's great to be friends with all the other organizations. It definitely puts me in line. Like, I have a great Malaysian fan base now, and I'm friends with all the gyms there now. I definitely would love to do a show in KL in 2016 for sure.
What are some of the gyms you recommend in Malaysia?
Gym Box, Matt Polino's gym down on in Sarawak. They're really getting it done. There's got a guy named Sean Wong. Okay. He kills it. Such a powerful name as well, Sean Wong. I wanted him to make a label called FABA. Called FABA, F-A-B-A, for Asians by Asians. See what I did right there?
Oh, yes, the FUBU.
It'd be the same font as FUBU. Yeah. It'd be amazing.
Oh, dude, I used to buy FUBU. I was white and I'd buy FUBU. That's pretty good, right?
Team Carabao's got a bunch of people. Obviously, Clinch. You know what I mean? You got a lot of gyms. On a striking note, you got a lot of Muay Thai gyms. Tum Jitty Gym has cross Muay Thai down there.
Okay.
Wachara is down there. They've got things going on.
There's Monarchy in Monarchy MMA, no?
Monarchy, Samir, Flexible, all those dudes. You know, again, they've got a lot stronger market share. They got a lot going on for Malaysia. Malaysia's definitely cool, man. You know, I love ONE FC and what they're doing, and Singapore's getting it done. But Malaysia and Toon Talk, man, in terms of grassroots, that's the grassiest roots of all the grassiest roots in the grassy root land.
Yeah, I really want to start getting the people involved with that on the show too, because it just seems like they run a very, very, very slick operation. You know, that they're very serious about it, and they've got that. There's some continuity. You know, you see that that line where they keep putting out events. It's got structure, like you said. It really starts from the grassroots, and they're building guys up. They're really putting the marketing dollars behind it. Really getting the country enthusiastically behind it. Because isn't there some sort of effort even with the government to try to motivate Malaysians to be more athletic, and that they're really using MMA as a conduit for that?
Yeah, their sports authority is
that's cool.
They really they really got it going down.
Beautiful.
I mean, I couldn't again speak any higher of what a country's doing. They're part of IMAF as well already.
Okay.
And yeah, they hold their tournaments. There's a bunch of other smaller shows, Ultimate Beatdown, and all these other, JFL and all these other ones. That's where it's booming. I would applaud for next year to any fighters like at the 155-pound class to go be a part of their foreign pride division, because they actually they do prize money for their finale, and you can actually make more than most pro fights. You know what I mean?
Really?
So, it's kind of amazing.
That's
kind of amazing.
Okay,
they're
cool.
Awesome. And again, it's prizes. We're prize fighting here, so
yeah,
I like that.
Prizes.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Prizes are great.
Well, Jon, it's always a pleasure to talk with you, buddy. Any last words? Any last shout outs? Any sponsors? Any message you need to throw out there? What's the final word here?
I need people to come to Thailand. I need people to come see the show on August 22nd. I need people to smile more, not be so negative, turn their frowns upside down. Mr. Brightside Life. I need to thank Singha, Fitway, Shark, Fairtex, Club Insanity, Ticket Major, Movin Prick, the Diesel Diva, aka Thailand. And yeah, I need to thank you for just doing what you do.
Oh, dude, it's my pleasure.
All about the people
like I mean, it's just it's an honor to help you guys. It's an honor to be part of spreading the message, the good word. I'm a fan of all of you guys and what you're doing out there. And yeah, we'll use this podcast to launch off a really big promotion for FMD6. We'll get a bunch of other people involved with this. We're gonna get a bunch of other people involved with that operation on the show between now and August 22nd, and really blow this thing up. And let's try to make this the event that makes you some dough, right?
Exactly.
Because I know last time we talked, you said there's nobody making any money in MMA. We got to turn that around, man. We got to turn that around.
Yeah.
But listen, I respect your grind. I respect your hustle. You're a hardworking dude. And listen, man, I'm working 3 projects at once here too, and I know what it is. And there's a lot of emotional ups and downs, and a lot of sacrifice and a lot of challenges. But listen, man, when we die, we'll be able to say we did it. You know.
Exactly.
I appreciate like-minded.
Anything with me.
Exactly. I might throw a few. I might throw a few of the bills in the grave. You can take some of it with you.
Yeah. Exactly.
All right, John. Well, I'll make sure everybody. What's that?
Pearls in my coffin.
Excellent, dude.
I want pearls in my coffin. Go.
Arr. Perfect, man. All right, John, it's a pleasure having you on the show. We'll continue the FMD6 crusade over the next few weeks. And yeah, everybody make sure if you're in the Bangkok area, and even if you're not, just get on a plane and get to Bangkok for August 22nd and check out Full Metal Dojo 6. I was actually at the first event, and it was already rowdy and a heck of a time there. I can imagine you've tweaked the formula, and it's even 10 times better now.
Here.
Good. All right, guys, this was the Trash Talk MMA podcast. I'm your host, Antoine Pelletier, with my guest, founder, and all-around ballerific gentleman of Full Metal Dojo, Jon Nutt. Follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram, and follow me, of course, on my Facebook page. We're out of here, guys. Peace.
Salute.
Thanks for listening to the Trash Talk MMA podcast. Welcome to Trash Talk MMA.
Yo, and welcome to the Trash Talk MMA podcast. I'm your host, Antoine Pelletier, and once again in his house, we got the infamous Jon Nutt from Full Metal Dojo. John, what's the deal, buddy?
Cold chilling, living the dream, par usual, getting things done.
Attaboy.
TCBing all day, every day.
What does TCB mean?
Taking care of business.
Is that what it means? Because I've seen TCB before, and I'm like, what the hell does this mean? I used to look up acronyms like that, or these web-based acronyms online, and I just got fucking bored of it. So you still got the Battle of the Beards is over, but you still got your beard. Hmm? Well, let's roll. Exactly. Let's obviously.
Man, I don't have any razor sponsors yet. So
yeah, there you go. Maybe you need to. Oh, what's that? You know, there's a really.
Gillette.
What's that? No, what's that? There's that brand of razors that's come out that's kind of revolutionized, where they've done things, I don't know, 3 times cheaper or something like that, and they only sell online, but it's really, really good deal, real quality razors. That might be.
It was one of the biggest knockouts I've seen in an amateur fight.
Brutal.
Ever.
So, of everybody that competed on that event, who really stood out? Who are some of the guys that got some big wins or put on some great performances?
That little kid Payak. I mean, like we have him fighting on our next show. And he's out of Team Quest up in Chiang Mai, and he's a strawweight, little 115er. I'd love to see what he could do against DSA in the future. Ty versus Ty up in like a one championship type of thing.
Okay.
Yeah, he did his thing. That was pretty amazing. That kid Dream Man is the Thai wrestler that really gets down. He throws people around. He had 2 huge suplexes during the night that were off the chains, and
So already we're starting to see some Thais really put their complete game together, their complete MMA game.
Dude, we definitely saw some good Thai submissions, which is always uplifting to me. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So yeah, we definitely saw some good stuff.
Very cool. Very cool.
It was huge.
Excellent. So, and then you competed in the main event against Dana.
Guys, that are, you know, all martial artists and all part of the game.
Yep.
So I mean, yeah, they get it done, and yeah, obviously it was tough. We had a tournament stance going on, which was pretty wild. We had you know 3 4-man tournaments, and then we had 2 kind of super fights, and then my fight. So that was how it rolled, and it was the crowd obviously always gets into it. It's always a huge party. We had a Silly Machine band on stage. We had some good DJs, and yeah, it was full tilt. You know,
so all in
my
all,
sponsors liked it.
You considered it a pretty big success?
Positive. Mm-hmm. Oh,
good.
yeah.
Good. Excellent to hear. So,
yeah,
and so as far as those rule changes went, those rule sets, did everything go according to plan? Were there any mess ups because of the
soccer kicks out of the Payak fight? You know, we got some good soccer kicks. We had a huge DQ. The odd guy Kale came in and did a little unsportsmanship when they went for the tap of the gloves. He knocked down the dude's hand, flying knee.
Oh, damn.
Got disqualified.
Potentially good sponsor.
Yeah, razors in Thailand are like more than gold. It's crazy.
And what's crazy in Thailand too is you can't find aftershave. You can find shaving cream, but you can't find aftershave. I remember that was killing me. I was like, damn, every time. So anybody who goes to visit Thailand, make sure you pack your aftershave with you. Okay, so obviously we're talking now because August 22nd, Full Metal Dojo 6 is taking place in Bangkok. We're obviously going to get into that in big detail. But before that, let's roll back. And I had you on the show just before Full Metal Dojo 5. I know there's a lot of hype for that. Yep. You were trying to really promote a lot of Thai fighters. Tell us how the event went down and what was the takeaway from that event?
It was fantastic. Again, like we had 3 different rule sets on the evening. Just by the way, too, we had amateur, pro underneath the unified rules, and then we had the global rule set. Soccer kicks to the head, 12 to 6 elbows, and whatnot. So I think it was one of the first events that was like that. It was great. I really feel like I kind of almost proved the point with the Thai amateurs. Some of those dudes had more entertaining fights than I've seen a lot of dudes out there that, you know, the Thais come from getting punched in the face so much that they are unintimidated by anybody, you know what I mean? And they go at it, and it was awesome to see. So I'm hoping to continue something along those lines, not necessarily under the Full Metal Dojo banner, but like that Made in Thailand. That's what I was getting at with the whole Made in Thailand thing.
Okay, so there's 2 interesting points there. First of all, the multi rules. Obviously, that presents a bit of a logistic challenge for your officials. Who were your officials, and how did they handle that?
Oliver Cost is obviously our head official, and he gets down with everything. You've had him on the show. 1FC referee extraordinaire. I was just with him at IMAF in Vegas. We could chat about that.
Well, no, I had Dana Bluen on the show, but I haven't had Oliver, so I got to get Oliver on the show.
Okay, yeah. We'll get him. But so Dana, you had Dana.
Yeah.
And then we had Morgan Perkins. We got Lee Livingston. We got a great crew of